Aisha Lawson. I am the SOIC in charge of the St. Catherine North Registry. This morning, I am here to conduct a training seminar in regards to the case management policies and SOPs. At the registry, we have realized that since the new policy, which was last reviewed the 9th of September 2024, members are still having issues in regards to the policy. We realize that members are not familiar with the changing of the forms, members are not completing the forms correctly, and the follow-ups are not being done in the prescribed time, files are not being reviewed in a timely manner, and the files are not prepared in time to be placed before the court. So today we are here to just sensitize staff, tell them what is to be done, show them show the forms, completed and incompleted ones, so they know what to do going forward. And at the end of this presentation, I hope the policy is clearer and you understand more of what is happening. So we'll just start by describing some key definitions of the policy. So a case, what is a case? So a case is a report of a crime or incident under investigation, right? Then we have the case file. So a case file that has been generated and assembled pertaining to reporting a crime, pertaining to a crime reported or an incident under investigation. So that is a case file. So for the case review now, this is a session, or meeting or otherwise, where an individual or a team of investigators gather to assess, appraise a case and/or task and provide directive to cases. So case reviews may require managers, supervisors, investigators, and other key stakeholders to meet at intervals during an investigation to access any new developments and provide updates on particular case. So we all know a case reference number. We are going to look at these forms later on, but I'm just showing you. This would be the case reference number. So I'll just go in details on some of that now. So the case reference number is a unique number that is assigned to each case in accordance with the policies and SOP. Next we have the divisional case registry. This is a central repository within a division that manages and operates a standardized and organized record-keeping system that stores case files and records of reported crimes or incidents, complaints, and related activities. So what is an investigation? So an investigation is a systematic and thorough process of gathering, collecting, and analyzing information, facts and evidence to uncover the truth, solve a problem, or address a specific issue in relation to a reported crime or incident. We have two categories of crimes. We have the major and the minor crimes. So the major crimes, these are categories of crime that are serious or violent in nature, which are considered indictable offenses. These crimes typically carry more severe penalty. So the minor crimes, these are offenses that are not classified as major and attract a fine or short custodial sentences, a summary or misdemeanor. So what is the purpose of the policy? So this revised JCF case management policy and standard operating procedures sets the foundation for establishment and maintenance of a more effective and efficient system of managing crime reports and cases while ensuring proper accountability and adherence to industry standards. So we have the purpose. The policy statement is, it is the policy of the JCF that all reports of crime and other incidents are recorded promptly and accurately. So investigations are thorough, transparent, transparent, confidential, honest, and conducted with respect for human rights and dignity. That needs no explanation. We're all police officers, so we know what that means. So complaints, victims, and witnesses are kept informed of the status of the investigation, and all efforts are made to bring closure to cases in a timely manner. This will be discussed further down in the lecture, but witness should be kept up to date with what is happening. If a person reports a crime or an incident at the station, they should not be just left in the layway wondering what is happening. You should update them, contact them, find out is the situation calm now, is everything okay, update your complainants. And we're finding out that this is not being done. So we have some responsibilities of the divisional commander, the divisional crime officer, the detective inspector, or the registrar, station managers. So I will highlight the station managers because this is conducted at the station level now. So a station manager must manage all reports, incidents, crime, or case file being investigated by uniformed personnel at the station. So this includes assigning cases, vetting of case files, and tasking of personnel. So the station manager must also manage the supervision process for all major and minor crimes under investigation at the station by uniformed personnel. They must manage the minor crime services, the processes, and register, and submit returns Sunday by 12 p.m. and this is every Sunday. So continuing, a station manager or his or her designate must cause all major and minor crimes reported at the station between 5:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. the succeeding day to be forwarded to the divisional case register by 5:35 a.m. daily. Station managers must cause all cleared minor cases to be submitted to the court through the divisional case management registry. We are realizing that officers are taking the case directly to the court's office. That is not to be done. It must be forwarded through the divisional case registry. Finally, station managers must manage all child diversion cases under investigation and maintain the station's child diversion registry. So, as there are other responsibilities of the investigating officer as well. So some of these responsibilities are, first, they must conduct thorough investigation into all cases assigned. They must attend court on the initial mention date and all trial dates in all cases and on all occasions where he or she is bound over to attend court. They must inform the court in a reasonable time. They can't call the court tonight, they have the matter tomorrow, they call the court tonight. No, you can't do that. You must inform the court in a reasonable time before the hearing in cases where you are unable to attend and give reasons. And the reason can't be because you got a party last night, you're tired, you can't make it. It must be a valid reason. So they must fully brief the prosecution liaison officer, the PLO, on any outstanding actions and the status of the case or witnesses in circumstances where he or she is unable to attend court. An investigating officer must periodically keep complainants and witnesses informed of the status and progress of the investigation. So there's a flow chart and when a report is made to the police. So, for instance, a report is made to the police. The initial IO must conduct assessment and appreciate the report. The case submitted must be submitted forthwith by the investigating officer to the supervisor for preliminary vetting and tasking. So now the supervisor, whether uniform or non-uniform, must conduct preliminary vetting and submit to the DDI within 48 hours, as well as the station manager. So then the station manager and the DDI will now perform an investigative review. They will then, that is the station manager and the DDI, will then submit case to the registry for all major crimes within 48 hours and 24 hours respectively. So for the station manager is 48 hours, the DDI is 24 hours. Then, so the divisional case registrar must assign investigator within 48 hours for non-uniform members and supervise all major cases by vetting and tasking. So continuous monitoring and tasking should be done by the DCR and supervisors. And final vetting and decision, court matters must be submitted by the time stipulated by the registry. So the station manager assign IO and task cases for minor crimes within 48 hours. Station managers manages all minor crimes at the station, and continuous monitoring and tasking done by station manager and supervisors. The case is closed, cleared, or otherwise. So the initial investigation. So when a report is received at the station, the initial investigator conducts an assessment. They receive report and may record statement and provide advice. They must complete the relevant records such as the station diary, registers, and the CR forms, which we will show you later down. They must submit the file or case to the supervisor for preliminary vetting and tasking. For the preliminary vetting, supervisors conduct preliminary vetting and submit case file to the DCR within 72 hours. That's for non-uniform members, and 48 hours for uniform members to the station manager. So the station manager submit case file for major files within 48 hours, which we discussed before. The station manager or the DCR may close a report of an incident at this stage. So all reports of traffic incidents must be submitted to the DCR and PSTEB by the 10th of each month. So for the case file management process, you are going to document in the appropriate register. So either the DCRR or the station register. You'll then generate a case reference number and secure files accordingly until distribution. So case assignment and distribution. So the station manager or the registrar will review and vet files and its contents. They will then ensure cases are properly classified for the appropriate investigating officer. They will then generate tasks and complete the relevant forms. The files will now be assigned after considering relevant factors such as the competency, the workload, and the availability and expertise. So the specialist units will manage all of their cases and provide initial progress and final reports to their local DCR. So the handling of case files. So all major crimes cases will be detained at the DCR throughout the investigation. Minor crimes will be retained by the station managers. So working copies will be issued to the investigating officer. However, if impractical, files may be loaned for the duration of the shift and returned with all its contents, or the case file may be given to take notes only at the DCR. So you won't be allowed to take it from the DCR. So the station manager shall ensure minor case given to the investigating officer is returned within 24 hours. And weekly returns of all reports at station shall be submitted to the DCR by 12 p.m. on Sundays. So in regards to the case reviews now, so all major crimes shall first be reviewed by the crime officer, the registrar or the station manager or their designate within 7 days. At the first case review for all major crimes, the first responding officer shall be tasked to provide their statement by the next review date. And all minor crimes shall undergo a first case review by the station manager or his or her designate within 7 days of being reported. So at the preliminary case review of minor crimes, the first responding officer in the case shall be tasked to provide their statement within 7 days. So the registrar, the crime officer, and the station manager or their designate shall conduct a follow-up review within 14 days and within every 28 days. So all tasks generated at case review and case conferences shall be recorded on the action sheet, which is now the CR2. As I said before, all of those CR forms will be showed at the later date. So all review dates shall be recorded on the action sheet and in the review column of the appropriate DCR and the crime register maintained by the station manager or their designate. Case files together, you have the CR2, the complainant statement, the investigating officer statement, followed by the CR forms. So you have the CR13, which is the checklist. Then you have the CR12, the CR10, and the CR1, which is the worksheet. The file will be sent to court. You know, you'll have your bail bond or your summons, and then you'll have the number 1 information, which will be the last document on the case file. Alright, so that is the end of the presentation of a completed CR1. So you have the station, the division, which is St. Catherine North, then the station, Yorkton, the offense threat. This is the case reference number. So this is the consecutive number, the station diary number, the year, the month, the date, and the station code. Later on, you will see how all of that is done. Then you have the investigating officer, his name, rank, and regulation number, the place where the offense was committed, and the date and time of the offense. So this form is used, So this form is used by the investigating officer to account for actions taken during his investigation. So you can write, today you took the statement, tomorrow you arrested the person because maybe the person was not found on the initial day of the report. So this is just to document your action taken. So you put the date, what was done, and your signature. Alright, so now we have an example of the CR2. So the same reference number that was on the CR1 is placed on the CR2. That is also to note. So the file, the complete file, each page must have the crime reference number on the top right corner, or as this is provided for, can be placed there. So the category is, this is a minor crime because this is a threat. So you have the victim information, you have the suspect information, the date of the incident, the date it was assigned, and the division, the investigator officer. So you have his rank, his regulation number, and his full name. Now down here, this would be done by the station manager or his or her designate. So you see we have the supervisor, you have the sergeant, which is the station manager. This is the action that was taken. So it's either the case conference was done, initial vetting, the case review, or continuous vetting, and the date in which it was done. So down here now, you will have the consecutive number, the action or task to be done by the IO, and the assignee, which would be the investigating officer, the officer assigning task, which will be the station manager, the date task was assigned, and when it is due. And if due, I can have the remarks section. 13, which is the case file checklist. So you just read along here and tick all that is on the file. So the investigating officer statement is on the file. You tick it. The date of completion, the date it was completed should also be filled out. The date submitted as well. So this is for the CR. You will realize the difference now with the checklist. The case file checklist. The CR16 had areas where you could write a brief summary of what occurred. That is no longer on the checklist. The CR13, the newly updated checklist, does not provide for that. So what occurred? Then you have, if there's witness, any exhibit, location where the exhibit is that is to be taken to court, that cannot be taken to court, for instance. And then you have the aggravating factor. So this is what caused the crime or the incident. And then this is the back. You fill out the tasks, items requested. Then you have any additional information would go here. So the investigator regulation, name, rank, his here, his signature. Then you have the supervisor, and this is for the registrar or the crime officer here. All right, so this is a view of the minor crime register. So you have the consecutive number, the DCR number. This would be for the divisional case registry. The station crime reference number. Then you have the date of the offense and the offense. You will now have the name and particulars of the complainant or the witness, the name and particular of the accused, the name, rank, regulation number of the investigating officer, the date the case was assigned, the date, name, signature of the person handing over the file, so that would be the investigating officer. Then you have the date and signature of persons receiving the file, so that will be the session manager or his or her designate. Then you'll have the date and time of the reviews that will be done by the station manager or his or her designate. Then the result of the matter and the remarks. Alright, so this is the newly revised list of major and minor crimes that are to be investigated by uniformed and non-uniformed members. So just get yourself familiarized with it so you know what cases you're to appreciate, not appreciate, because you should appreciate all cases, then contact the relevant persons. So just what case you're supposed to investigate and what case non-uniform members are supposed to investigate. So in order to monitor and supervise minor and major crimes at each station to ensure that officers are adhering to the policy, myself along with members of the registry will conduct bi-weekly inspections of the minor and major crime decks at each station. The station managers also will be tasked to check each file and remind the investigating officers of the follow-up dates, which is the 7 and the 14 days. We will conduct monthly training seminars to keep officers abreast of what is expected of them. We will also get the feedback of customers, making reports to see if members are abiding by the policy SOPs in the report collection and appreciation. All right, so based on the presentation, what have you learned? What were you doing different from what was taught during the presentation? Go ahead.
So I've learned that about the different forms that's been used now, like CR1, the CR2, and even the CR12 is the same thing as the CR14 now.
Okay, good. You made reference of the CR1 and the CR2. Can you tell me what are they now and what were they before?
Alright, so the CR1 was the crime report booklet, and now it is the investigative rep sheet. The CR2 was the crime report form, and now is the action sheet.
Thank you all for your participation in this seminar, and I hope that what was taught will be put in practice at this station, and it will improve the minor and major crime desk. So when I come back to do the inspection, everything will be up to date and up to par with the policy.